The Cheap House. The airplane landed in the United States late in the evening. A family of 4 stepped out of the airport, excited to begin a new life. The father, David, had neatly plaited hair. His wife, Grace, had short white-colored hair that made her stand out in a crowd. Their son, Daniel, was 10 years old, and their little daughter, Joy, had beautiful puff hair tied into 2 round puffs. "This is our new beginning," David said with a smile. The children looked around in amazement at the tall buildings and bright lights. The family spent 2 nights in a hotel while searching for a house. Their savings were limited, so they needed something affordable. One afternoon, they met a house agent named Mr. Carter. "You are new here, right?" he asked. "Yes," Grace replied. "We just arrived." Mr. Carter smiled strangely. "I know a very cheap house. It's much larger than most houses in this area." David was surprised. Large and cheap. Why? The agent quickly answered. "The owner moved away years ago. That's all." Since the rent was far below their budget, the family agreed to see it. The house stood alone at the edge of a quiet neighborhood. No children played nearby. No neighbors were outside. The trees around the house looked old and twisted. Joy held her mother's hand tightly. "Mommy, I don't like this place." Grace laughed softly. "You're just nervous." The inside of the house looked surprisingly clean. There were 4 bedrooms, a large kitchen, and a beautiful living room. "It feels too good to be true," David whispered. The agent handed over the keys. "If you want it, take it today." The family moved in the next morning. The first night was peaceful. The second night was different. At exactly 3 a.m., Joy woke up. She heard footsteps walking slowly down the hallway. Tap, tap, tap. She thought her father was awake, but when she looked into her parents' room, both parents were asleep. The footsteps continued. Tap, tap, tap. Then they suddenly stopped outside her bedroom door. Joy pulled her blanket over her head. The next morning, she told her family. "It was probably the house settling," David said, but Daniel looked worried. "I heard it too." That night, strange things happened again. Kitchen cabinets opened by themselves. Lights flickered. A chair moved slightly across the floor. Grace began feeling uneasy. A week later, the family discovered something shocking. While cleaning the basement, Daniel found an old newspaper hidden inside a wall. The headline read, "Family mysteriously vanishes from house." The article explained that many years earlier, another family had lived there. One night, they disappeared without a trace. No one ever found them. Grace's hands trembled. "David, why didn't the agent tell us this?" That same night, the activity became worse. Whispers echoed through the hallways. Cold shadows appeared in mirrors. Doors slammed shut by themselves. Joy woke up screaming, "There is a woman standing in my room!" David rushed in. The room was empty, but the temperature felt freezing cold. Then everyone heard a loud voice from downstairs. "Leave!" The entire house shook. The next morning, David searched after discovering the old newspaper in the basement. Daniel carefully unfolded another yellowed page hidden inside it. His hands trembled as he began reading. "Warning to all who enter this house." The family moved closer. "You have 3 days to discover the secret of leaving this house. If you fail, death will claim one person every day until no one remains." Joy hugged her teddy bear tightly. "Daddy, what does that mean?" Nobody answered. A cold wind suddenly swept through the basement. Then a voice echoed from the darkness. 3 days. Day 1. David immediately packed their bags. We're leaving right now. The family rushed outside. They ran down the road. 5 minutes later, they stopped. The house was standing directly in front of them. Everyone froze. "What?" Grace whispered. "We just left." David looked behind them. The road they had just traveled was gone. Only the house remained. They tried again. This time, they turned right. They walked for nearly 20 minutes. Suddenly, the same house appeared again, standing in front of them. Exactly the same. Joy began crying. "We're trapped." That night the lights flickered, the walls groaned, then words slowly appeared on the living room wall. Dark letters formed by themselves. "Back, back, back, back," Grace screamed. The words disappeared. Day 2. The family searched every room, every closet, every shelf, every hidden corner. They found nothing. That night, more words appeared. "Back, back, 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 back." David became frustrated. What does back mean? Nobody knew. Outside the windows, strange shadows moved among the trees. The family barely slept. Day 3. The final day had arrived. The grandfather clock struck noon. A deep voice echoed through the house. "One day remains." The family panicked. They searched the basement one final time. Daniel discovered an enormous dusty book hidden behind old boxes. The cover had only one word. Back inside, every page was the same word. "Back, back, back." Hundreds of times. Joy looked confused. What does it mean? Nobody had an answer. As the sun began setting, the family tried escaping again. They ran through the front door. 10 minutes later, the house appeared. They ran through the woods. The house appeared. They drove away in their car. The house appeared. No matter where they went, the house was always waiting. Grace sat on the ground crying. "We're going to die." The clock inside the house began ringing. Midnight was approaching.
Into the house now!
We'll be safe inside. Stay close.
Hurry!
The discovery David stared at the word carved into the wall, "back." Suddenly, something clicked in his mind. He remembered every failed escape. Wait, everyone looked at him. What if we're doing exactly what the house wants? Grace frowned. What do you mean? We've been moving forward every single time. Daniel's eyes widened. The word, David nodded. The answer has been in front of us the whole time. Joy whispered. Back? Yes. The family stood together outside the house. They joined hands. David took a deep breath. Nobody turns around. Nobody lets go. Whatever happens, keep walking backward. The clock inside the house began striking midnight. Boom! 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 The ground started shaking. Dark shadows rushed toward them. The family began walking backward. 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps. The house seemed to grow larger. The shadows screamed. The wind howled. But they kept moving backward, step after step, step after step. Suddenly, everything went completely white. When the light faded, they found themselves standing on a busy highway. Cars drove past. Street lights glowed. Normal people walked by. The haunted house was gone. The woods were gone. The curse was broken. Joy laughed with relief. We made it. Grace hugged her children. David smiled. The answer was never to move forward. Daniel looked back one last time. Far in the distance, he thought he saw a dark shadow watching them. Then it vanished. The family got into a taxi and left, never looking back again. The end.